Namaste, Kelvin.
Namaste.
Welcome for our interview today on conscious masculinity and the coming frequencies of 5D New Earth.
Grateful to be here.
So, what is the time in Bali there right now?
It's 10 p.m.
Oh, okay. I hope you had a good dinner.
I did.
So, just a little bit. Let's just go with our first question itself. A little introduction about yourself to our viewers and uh, your work. Come for how long it's been you've been doing this?
Yeah, so I've been coaching, public speaking. I'm also an author of a book and done a lot of events, retreats, and workshops over the last 7, 8 years, all around helping high performers build their business, create really resilient, polarized relationships, and also just build a holistic health practice and be, the best version of themselves. So very, very blessed and grateful to be here in Bali and a digital nomad, but most of the time I'll be based in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm. It 7, 8 years. Like, what led you to start work on masculine polarity?
Yeah, I mean, it was trying to solve my own problems, really. Many years ago, I was studying to become a psychologist, basically. I'd got my undergrad degree in psychology and philosophy, and I was applying to grad schools, working at a university, kind of just grinding, working in that environment, and was fed up and, you know, quit my job, studied minimalism, sold all my belongings, studied nomadism, and started traveling in Southeast Asia, and actually ended up in India, in Goa, where I did my yoga teacher training and got
Oh,
involved with sannyasins there and was introduced to Osho and his meditations, which was really a huge pivotal point. And then moved back to the States after that, after backpacking through the Annapurna in Nepal, and started hosting events. And a lot of those events were about polarity. I was studying, Mantak Chia and Qigong and Tai Chi and the Taoist Tantra, and also studying the Hindu Tantra and Hatha Yoga and Osho, and got really into David Data, John Wineland, and all this work. And it was really to solve my own issues with dating and to really be fully involved, embodied, leading a really strong relationship. And so more and more I realized over the years as I coached more and traveled the world doing events that this is really what people wanted, as a lot of people are just confused when it comes to masculine and feminine relating and attraction.
absolutely. Yeah. All right. So, second question. What are current difficulties that you see in collective men worldwide in daily routine and with their relationships, be it single or married?
Yeah, I think a lot of men feel trapped, or they feel like they're not living their purpose, or they're not living their best life. They don't feel like they're a leader. They're just going to work, grinding, maybe providing for their family, or if they're single, just going on dates. And they're not really feeling in their body. They're not feeling like a king, right? Like Shiva. They're not feeling strong. And that's for many reasons, right? Part of it's health. Are they taking care of their body? Are they eating clean? Are they eating well? Foods that would boost their testosterone and their wellness. You know, they also struggle, have a practice, right? Or a discipline, whether that's weightlifting or yoga or meditation or martial arts. They need some way to be disciplined by themselves. And most of all, they need brotherhood. They need strong male friends and mentors.
Right. And when you said being like Shiva, so there is, I think, most of the men are just one part of Shiva, and that is the avoidant type. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Shiva has many aspects, and I was very into the Shiva like lineages and the philosophy of that energetic, God, that version of God in the Hindu lineages. So I've always loved it. And Shiva in his most powerful aspect is, creator and destroyer. He's consciousness itself, pure presence, right? And obviously with his consort, with his queen, when he unites with her, he gives birth and fertility to all creation. So that's the kind of masculine presence that's needed, right? This is the father, the creator. It's also the warrior, right? Shiva has the warrior aspect, which is
That's the
very
most
powerful.
needed. Yeah. And we need that archetype the most, I feel. This is what is a big turn off for a lot of women in India also, in the dating arena. So, yeah.
Sure.
So how can we bring out that safe, conscious warrior type? Like how men can activate
Yeah, I mean,
this?
he's going to have to find it in himself first. So he needs to be leading his own life and disciplining or cultivating his own life. So again, it comes back to those physical practices, which I was talking about, some kind of movement practice, some kind of meditative practice. He's going to need brotherhood. He's probably going to need mentors or elders, older men or teachers that can hold him through his bullshit. And he needs a rite of passage or an initiation so he can leave behind the boyhood ego and consciousness and enter into adulthood and become a man and eventually become a father or a patriarch or a protector. And so a lot of men are just struggling to find that because their communities are very isolated or they're very, codependent with their wife or girlfriend or maybe even their mother.
Yeah. I think most men in India just listen to their mother. That's
Right.
why
It's a big
I've
thing,
seen
right?
so many divorce cases in just 2020. Uh, and even I have had my blue in 2020 itself. Like, yeah, how would you take this? Like, why is this? And you have been to India before, so obviously you might have some idea on this behavioral construct in men here, at least.
Yeah, I mean, the mother relationship is very important for the man. So it's amazing that, I know in India, the woman is the goddess of the home, right? The Lakshmi or the Parvati, where she's bringing life to the home. And I think that's amazing. I learned a lot about honoring the feminine from men in India, especially my yoga teacher and the guru at the school I was at, and also just friends I met there. But the problem is at some point in a man's life, he has to disconnect from his mother. He's not her little baby anymore. He
Very
can't be
much.
mothered and coddled, and he has to become his own man. So that's what the rite of passage does, which has been lost to a lot of the world. And obviously, there's men's groups, there's men's work, there's retreats, workshops. There's ways to cultivate that. But then the problem becomes if he hasn't done that, or he's still wanting mommy, right? Then his wife or his girlfriend will get put into that role of being mother. And there's nothing wrong with being nurtured by the feminine, being cared for by your woman, but you need to be in leadership with her. You need to be in your backbone, right? In your strength. And that's going to come from those, again, it comes back to your self practice, your shadow work, getting rid of your bullshit, working on yourself. And it comes to having strong male bonds with other men.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a third question. How can we accelerate the importance of conscious masculinity in today's time?
Yeah, I mean, we got to start with boys and help the youth really learn this early. So the good fathers out there, the good mothers are going to help their boys become men by supporting them in these ways. We need that. We need families and communities to prioritize this. It's non-negotiable. The world needs strong men. We also have to make it cool, and this is part of what the coaching community or the sales and marketing of the conscious community is trying to do and, succeeding or failing to some extent. We have
Mm-hmm.
to make this attractive, that it's actually attractive for men to do
Right.
the work. And
Right.
obviously it is, because when you do it, women will notice you. You become a more high value man. More women will notice you. Other men will respect you. But we have to reflect that in the narrative and the storytelling that we're doing around it.
Mm-hmm. And there's more like this herd. I've seen this. I've had this observation where it's that herd mentality. It's like you be in 10, 20 group of men and then you're considered cool. But then if you're meeting the same person one on one, that same the fire isn't there. What would you say to this? Like, I think most men still feel like you have to be in a larger group to feel a sense of masculinity, but they're unable to like stand in their individual and hold their boundaries strong. That's why the
Right.
sense of purpose has just gone down, like, at least what I see around. So
Yeah, I mean, the purpose and the mission for a man is going to be really important. So again, this is where the mentorship and other men are going to help him understand, who am I and what is my dharma, right? Like, what am I here to do? And you have to be connected to that. So a lot of men struggle because they aren't feeling connected to dharma. They aren't out there doing their thing and doing it with joy, even if it's hard, because they're working for someone else. They're doing a job they hate. They're drinking or smoking on the weekends, maybe dating, maybe married, but they don't feel connected to it. So we need to support men to become connected to that and be emotionally healthy with their career and their mission, right? And it's okay for men to have emotions and process them. This is part of his work.
yeah, I have been telling that to my father a lot. I think over time we have started having that conversation. It's so much better now with my father. It's so much easier now because he was one of those who always kept it pent up in him, never expressing it. So yeah, yeah, doing my bit at least in the family. All
Hmm.
right, our fourth question. Why are highly sensitive men unable to showcase their spiritual gifts and the effects of patriarchy on men worldwide?
Yeah, I mean, patriarchy is a tricky word because if you go to the Latin, the original root of patriarch, right? Patris archis, like, it means rule by the family. It doesn't mean rule by tyrannical men. So the
Oh,
word patriarchy, as it's used today in the media and as it's used by feminism, and also how the world has been run, it's been run by tyrants. So this is the shadow of the king. So these are men that are selfish or greedy and abuse power. And a lot of our politicians and military leaders have been like that, which is unfortunate. But actually, patriarchy oppresses men and women in its current form, when it's shadow form. And so a lot of men that are highly sensitive, have spiritual gifts, want to live a more spiritual life, practice yoga, do meditation, be in their artistry. They suffer because they may not make as much money, they may not get as much respect from men, and they may not be as attractive to very feminine women. They may be more attracted to, women that are seeking that because they haven't felt their feminine energy. So I meet a lot of highly sensitive men that are dating women that are quite masculine, right?
right. So, and there's this one more point. I was just coming to that another point. Like highly sensitive men, although they are just amazing, they're still having a lot of anxiety issues. So I had one healing case, but then that man complained about a lot of anxiety, and he's so in his dating scene, he's like not considered like strong enough. So, yeah, what's your point on this? Why are those anxiety issues coming in, and yeah, these sensitive men are feeling like they're not required in the world, while they actually are necessary.
Yeah, a lot of the time, anxiety for me is when you have too much energy. So your threat detection, or you're concerned about what other people think. It's too much energy, right? And you need to ground that energy. So if you have a lot of anxiety as a man, you need to be physical. Again, it comes back to your practices. You need to be able to discharge and ground your energy, and then take it in small doses. So if you're afraid of talking to women, practice every day. Just say hi, give a compliment, or just be open with one woman. Just say, one thing, and
Hmm.
practice that. Feel anxiety and then feel it, deal with it. Move your body, do some breathing, some pranayama, do something to move the energy, and then keep practicing. And eventually that anxiety you can harness and channel. And if it's really, really, really strong, again, you got to ask for support. You need support from your community. You need to work with someone. You need to go and ask for help, which can be really hard for men.
Asking is an act of courage nowadays.
Yes.
It is. So, and how many, just to know about related to your work, so how many circles, sacred masculine circles, and how many one-on-one cases have you solved so far in your career?
Well, I don't know about solved, but I've certainly led a lot of them and assisted.
He,
But I mean, over the years, hundreds of clients at this point, dozens of events, and many, many men's circles. And I'm really blessed and honored to be able to do that. And obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. There's many more to be a part of.
yeah, we need more leaders. All deck on, all hands on deck. So, any plans for having holding masculine circles retreats here again in Goa or India, anywhere?
I mean, I would love to. I would love to return to India. I loved it when I was there. I was only there for about 40 days in Goa and Delhi, but yeah, I love India. I have friends that go often, and next time I'd want to go to Rishikesh and Dharamshala and also back to Goa and just explore more of the country. And I think, yeah, I'm not sure what men's movements are there, but I think they're coming. There's Indian men right now who are coaches or speakers or
Hmm.
devotees of whatever lineage that are doing this work. And I think more of them are going to rise up. We're going to see a massive men's movement in India because it's such a large country and there's so much need for it, right? I actually have worked with a lot of Indian clients, men and women, and
Okay.
they left India to come to America, a lot of them, but they still have their Indian families. So I know a lot of those dynamics. And what's beautiful about India is because it's such a spiritual nation and there's so much history and so much depth that it's going to be really easy once it gets going. Once more people are into mental health, into wellness, into masculine and feminine work. There needs to be a women's movement in India as well. We need more women's circles there because the women are having their own challenges, right?
Yeah, we are going. I am going to have the first ever feminine circle on 24th here in my city. So
Amazing.
after that, we'll have something similar for men, exclusively for men. Yeah. Okay, great. So our fifth question: your advice for men in India when it is about inner work, deprogramming, and healing themselves.
Yeah, you have to start where you're at. So it starts with honesty. You need to be really honest where you're at. What are you struggling with? Are you struggling with dating, relationships, sexuality? Are you struggling with your body and your health? Are you struggling with money and your career? Start there. Don't try to solve everything at once. Just start where you're at and start asking the questions. Who am I and why am I allowing this? Why am I creating this? You're creating your reality. You're choosing your job. You're choosing your partner every day. Even if you're married to 20 years, you've been in a job 20 years, you're still choosing to show up there in a certain way. So you can shift that. And it starts with the small things. Just start day by day. Take it small, take a little bite at a time. Don't bite off too much. And just, meet yourself where you're at. It's humbling and get support. Get other men around you. Even find one man, your grandfather, your uncle, your best friend. Start there and be vulnerable. Have a real conversation. Be honest. Cut through the bullshit and the small talk and talk about things that matter to you and then find more men like that.
Right. Mhm. And our last question for today. Um, what are the tools you recommend for single men in India looking for prospective women in dating scene?
Yeah, the best way to meet women is when you are in your power, confident, and you're being yourself, being playful, being authentic. So, what do you like to do? Do you like to dance? Do you like to play music? Do you like art? Do you like nature? Go out and find women there doing what you love. And obviously, if you're in a small town or you can't find any women that you want to date, go online. You can use dating apps, use dating websites, but do it with integrity. Be very clear. Take professional photos. Treat yourself like someone you love. And, really go for it. Don't just try to get into bed with another woman or try to go on a date just because you have to. Take it seriously. Be honest about what you want. If you just want to date around, that's fine. Explore. If you want to get married and have a family, be honest about that.
Right. And could you tell us a little about your book? I just recalled it now.
Yeah, so I wrote a book with my two co-authors about sex, masculinity, and God, the trialogues. So it goes into a lot of psychology and philosophy and metaphysics all around what it means to be a man in the modern world and what are the challenges and dangers of being a man in sexual, relationships and dating and polyamory and monogamy and what it means to be connected to God and the divine, whatever that means to you. And so
Mhm.
that book is a 10 chapter kind of deep dive into all of this that I think men and women have enjoyed reading.
I shall take a look at that as well. Maybe the Kindle version. Do you have the Kindle version?
Fortunately, don't have a Kindle version yet, but the paperback is very affordable on Amazon.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. And when you mentioned about music, art, the dating part, right? Again, a lot of men in India are taught to suppress that creative side of themselves. Because in my own experience, when I used to ask these questions, then it's like I used to do that long time back, and now it's all gone away. So they literally give up on their creativity. What would you suggest such men? Because if they've been the best guitarist or a songwriter, they've just given up on those things. I don't know why. What led? Like when I ask deeper questions, then it's like they actually get turned off instead of being interested to have that conversation. So,
Right. Well, a lot of men are struggling because they have let that go and they let it go because they needed to make money. They needed to provide, they needed to get a career. They didn't see a way for it to make money. So just let go of that. It doesn't need to make money. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for joy. You're doing it to connect to God, to pray, to have fun. So make music, paint, draw, sculpt, dance. It's important to stay connected to that.
mhm. Dancing, yeah, dancing just works, right? All right. Thanks a lot, Kevin. It's been like really crisp and beautiful conversation, and definitely this is going to help a lot of men. Yeah. I think
Thanks so much for inviting me.
thanks a lot. I think last Thomas also from I think Alex and Thomas I had interviews with them as well, uh, but that was like last year. Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you so much, and hope to stay connected on Instagram. And I'll put the links for your so that people can get in touch with you if they need to. Yeah, I'll do
Great.
that. Yeah.
I would love that. Thanks, Rashmi.
Yeah. All right, Kevin. See you then. Bye.